name's Annette and welcome to Cotto Verde. Today I thought it would be useful if I brought you along as I sowed my anemone corms this year, and actually what I'm doing is I'm re-sowing anemone corms that I dug up last season, and I put them into storage, and I thought it would be useful to show you this video in case you have problems like I do where perhaps some of the corms didn't overwinter particularly well. So I've never had this problem in the past where some of the corms have rotted, but we've had this really peculiar spring this year here in the UK. I'm in a equivalent to a zone 8B. I live in South Buckinghamshire, and we've had some really super cold temperatures that we don't often get, and consequently I feel like some of the things that I'd normally put into storage and not worry about, and I don't pack my anemone corms or my ranunculus in anything. I just put them in a net bag and put them into a cardboard box and put them into storage along with all my dahlias. But this year, for some reason, some of them seem to have rotted, so I'm unsure which ones are going to resprout and which ones aren't. I thought I'd bring you along today, show you how I'm going to combat this problem, and we could see together whether any of them will resprout. So I'm going to show you what's happened to my anemone corms, and then I'm going to describe the process of how I'm going to plant them. I'm making it sound more complicated than it is, but basically what I'm going to do is the ones that I feel have been successfully overwintered and aren't at all mushy, I'm going to plant them as I normally do, and I'm going to put them into a 15 cell tray and let them pre-sprout there before I plant them out in my garden. And the ones that I don't think have overwintered particularly well, I'm going to plant in one tray on their own. And a lot of people call this pre-sprouting, where you put them in this tray and just wait for them to start shooting and rooting, and then you can put them into a 15 cell tray or straight out into your garden. And I really don't want to waste the space that these 15 cell trays take up, because you only get 15 corms in this, so I don't want to waste that space with corms that may not do anything and may be too far gone to revive. So with anemone corms, what you have to do is soak them for 24 hours to rehydrate them before you plant them or sow them. And so I put these into this jug of water. This is all the anemone corms together. I've just jumbled up all the mixtures. I've got pretty much the same colours. I don't have any bright reds in there, so I can just mix them all up, and that makes me quite happy to have a variety. So I've just put them all into this jug, and I left them for 24 hours just soaking, and now I'm going to plant them. So because I think that some of my anemone corms may not be viable anymore, they may have rotted too much, but there's still like a little hard bit on them. So what I'm going to do with those corms is I'm going to put them into this half-filled tray here, and this way I can get quite a lot into a tray, much more so than if I just put one into each hole of a 15 cell tray. If you're sowing them into a tray like this and you're pre-sprouting them or looking to see whether they're going to sprout, is you just want to put a tiny bit of compost in the bottom. So I've got maybe an inch, 2 centimetres of compost in the bottom there, and then I'm going to pop them into there and then cover them with compost. With the ones that I'm putting into the 15 cell tray, I'm going to use a dibber, and I'm just going to make a hole into the pre-filled cells. I filled those up earlier, and pop the corm into there. You don't want to plant them too deep, but you do want to cover them. I'm going to have to get a 9 centimetre pot because some of my corms are now so big because I've had them a few years. Hang on a second. So this is a 9 centimetre pot, and this is what I'm going to use to plant the corms that are too large to go into the other trays. So what I'm going to do is just place the corm. I'm actually not sure which way is up with this. It seems to have roots all over it. It will find its way up. Then I'm just going to cover that with compost. This particular corm here has got a soft bit in the centre, and so I'm not sure whether it's going to be viable or not, and so I'm going to put this one in the tray. So where I say it's soft in the centre, it's kind of this bit here. I don't know if you can see it moving. It's a bit squishy, but the bits on the outside are still very firm. So I am going to plant this one. So when you're just pre-sprouting in a tray, you can put them quite close together and just nestle them into the compost like that. So again, this one's just a little bit soft here, and I just want to make sure that it's going to sprout. So again, I'm putting that, I really hope I'm putting them the right way up. It's really hard to tell when they're this big which way up they go. I'm going to plant it this way. I mean, I'll soon find out when they start sprouting. And then this one again has got a soft bit here. I don't know if you can see it moving there. Yeah, I'm still not sure, because it's a little bit softer than I would want it to be, so it's going in that tray. So once you've sown your anemone corms, what you want to do is make sure that your compost is moist. So you can either pre-moisten it, which is what a lot of people do before they put it in their trays, just make sure it's not sodden, or you can water them in afterwards, but then make sure you drain your trays so that your corms aren't sitting in liquid. If they sit in liquid, they'll go squishy and rotten and they'll be gone. There's no way to revive them. If they're not wet enough, if the compost isn't wet enough, or you haven't soaked them, it's much harder for them to sprout. So what you want to do is do all of that and then put them into a cool place somewhere. So you could either put them into a cold frame, or you could put them into a room in your house that's cool, or a garage maybe, somewhere like that. It doesn't have to have light, but as soon as you see sprouts coming up, you want to give them light because they're going to need to photosynthesize. So you don't want your corms to be forgotten about and left in a garage perhaps, and then you have lots of white shoots that are desperately seeking light. So do remember to check on them if you do leave them in a outhouse somewhere. I tend to put mine in my cold frames. I do that for two reasons. Firstly, because it's nice and cool here in the UK at the moment. It's the perfect temperature for them. But also because the cold frames have got lids, and anemone corms and ranunculus corms are just, you know, they're like caviar to squirrels. So squirrels and mice will come and dig up your corms and you won't realise that this has happened. This happened to me the first year that I sowed mine, and I didn't get any flowers whatsoever. I got no plants at all because every single corm got stolen because I didn't realise that all the critters were going to come and eat them. So protect your corms. They're expensive. Well, they are to me, and so you want to protect them somehow by making sure that either maybe you could put like a lid on top of them, but you don't want them to get too hot if it's sunny. So I find a cold frame is very useful, and I just have little cold frames, but you could definitely put them in a cellar or in a garage as long as you don't forget about them. As soon as they're sprouted, if they're in their own individual cells, you just want to make sure that you keep watering them and feeding them occasionally until the frosts have passed, and then you can plant them outside. If they start sprouting and they're in a tray, one of these trays here, where they're all mingled together, then it's best to either move them onto a 15 cell tray or to move them into the 9 centimetre pots. And then put them out in your garden once the frost has passed. But that's it for today. I hope you found this interesting, and definitely I hope you found it useful. If you have found it useful, then please do give the video a like, because that really helps my YouTube channel to grow. And do subscribe if you want to see how these anemones do when I plant them out in my garden and you'd like to see what they look like, then do follow along. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.